when I look at the little point that sticks out there, that's actually, I didn't look at this beforehand, sorry about that, but, that's actually like a levee already around that, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
There is.
It's the water station.
So everything outside of that levee is water.
Right.
Yeah, outside that levee is water.
So
but there
that's
are
their
some-
own levee.
Yeah.
The people that own the properties levy. It's not a
Well,
parish levy or
right. It's a
anything,
it's a-
private
right.
levy that someone had done way back.
I mean, if they breached the levee, they'd have an issue.
Well, and if the levy wouldn't be there, none of that would be there right now,
Right,
probably.
right.
That's correct.
So, I mean, but we're digging a hole in front of our
So
main protection
how
levy.
close can they dig to the parish levee?
Well, you can see on a picture that, I think there's a requirement, there is a requirement for that. I think it's 75 feet, maybe it's 150 feet.
So I'm sure there's a right of way there for the
There is,
parish
there's a
levy.
servitude for that parish
So-
levy.
Right.
So
So
they
that's
gotta-
gonna
they're gonna have
that's
to-
gonna be in that ordinance.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
yeah.
They have to build a bridge too, huh?
Yes, and that, let me see if I can get.
But that might have showed-
Well, it
across the-
shows that you crossing
See that? Yeah,
a
they're
body
gonna
of water.
cross- They're gonna enter off of Highway 56 on
Right.
that little area that juts out.
Mhm.
Same person owns that.
Okay.
So they're gonna use their property, build a board road, cross the levee with a board road. So that they're not damaging that, but of course, Lowland's pretty good about repairing any damages they may do to the levee. And that's a parish levee, it's not Morganza. So,
But you still got to build a bridge too.
yes, they do, they have to,
So while we're looking at that photo right there, so if you look underneath like the orange shadow, and I see look like borrow pits already, smaller ones. Is that what that was? Or is that trees? What am I looking at right there? See like the little shaded areas, the small shaded areas?
we're on the site.
Underneath, underneath the orange hatching.
Is that water or is it like already
It may
made?
may just be cut a different way or something.
Yeah, looked like it. First I
Trees
thought
or
it was
The darker green.
Yeah, I thought it
That's
might have
the only
been
area they can dig is that one that's shown right there.
right in the orange. So,
I think that's trees, yeah.
okay, trees,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was a pit.
Yeah. So they are a good ways away from the levee. If the orange is the line, so they are a good ways from the levee, the parish
Yeah.
levee.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's right next to the new pump station off of Bilo Kai.
Yeah, you can see the pump station
Yeah,
right
pump
there.
station's
Yeah.
right there.
Right
So,
at the top of the
I
picture.
guess their
So as soon
thought.
as that finishes
conveyance
heating off,
channel.
that's all gonna be water.
That's the
I guess their idea is it's going to turn into water anyhow. Let's get the dirt while we can get
Correct.
it. I mean, let's just
Yeah,
go ahead
right.
and get it.
While we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we have a motion to accept with the conditions?
Yeah. So moved.
Yeah.
So moved by Merlin, second by Jan. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed with
Thank you, Mr.
Conditions.
Chairman. This is that Seven Brew facility on Martin Luther King, not far adjacent to the site that was approved for the racetrack at the corner of West Side Boulevard. This is all bottomland forest. This is where it's located, that red little square there. This is some of the information that came from, this is the drainage on the site. This is what they want to do. It's basically a drive-through site like it is on Grand Caillou. But they've got some wetland impacts, they know that. And we have submitted the mitigation intent form, which we do not have yet. We're waiting on that. And as soon as we get that, we'll ship them the mitigation that they're gonna have to pay. So this recommendation, we hold this until we get this information and we'll bring it back to you.
have a motion put on hold. Motion by Jeb,
Second.
second by Jan. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passed.
All right, on this one, Mr. Bice wants to withdraw this permit application. He was looking at some mitigation. He hadn't bought the property yet. But he I discussed it. Well, I went out to the site with him and we looked at it and did some calculations. He would have some mitigation to pay, and I guess he wasn't willing to put out that kind of money to do that. So he told me he wants to withdraw it. So we don't need to take any action. He contacted me about the Corps was asking him what he was going to do. I said, well, you contact the person at the Corps that you're dealing with and tell them, you got to put it in writing or whatever, that you're withdrawing this permit, so there'll be no further action on it. So we need no further action on this because it is withdrawn.
Okay.
And that's where it was. He was looking at building a little trenasse from that particular site to the open water, but despite ways you can mitigate it, you're digging through some fresh marsh, and it's gonna.
Might have paid better to get with your neighbor and pay him a little money.
Yeah. So it's withdrawn.
All right, no action needed.
No actions needed. State concerns, none. I think the state's passing everything on to us. No consistency determinations. Now, I'm going to leave this slide up because when I get into my director's report, we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
That's all I have on recommendations at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Black. Subcommittee, Jeff?
No subcommittee meetings lately, right? So
Okay, thank you. Discussion of that restoration project, Mr. Black.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. You got the report, and on page 1 at the bottom, TE 163, which is the Raccoon Island restoration, that is the preferred alternative. It's alternative number 3 that they want to pursue, and the 100% design milestone is anticipated in December. Construction is scheduled to begin in the summer of 2027 because this is a island that is used for bird nesting, and they want to avoid conflicts with the nesting. And so they expect the notice to proceed to be issued in the fall of 2027. Now, that slide shows about 410 acres of beach, dune, marsh, and marsh mound habitat to be restored. There's also a bayside living shoreline structures incorporated to enhance the marsh stability and habitat function. 13 structures to be constructed along the toe of the marsh platform to reduce erosion along the marsh edge. The total estimated construction cost for this alternative comes to almost $103 million, with about 250, almost 251,000 per acre. This is the preferred alternative. And why is it preferred? Well, it balances habitat restoration benefits, shoreline protection function, project resiliency, and cost effectiveness while supporting long-term sustainability of restored habitat on the island. Would also reduce erosion pressures, particularly on the backside, allowing establishment of an emergent marsh edge, which is highly important for habitat for fish and shellfish nursery and forage, and also provide an area of calm waters serving as loafing habitat for fledgling birds born in the nearby nesting habitat. So that's what that alternative looks like. It ain't cheap, but they'll also be, I think they're going to do some work on the segmented rock barriers on the front, also extend that groin on the east, extend it westward. Those have been very effective in building beach on that particular island. So this ought to be a pretty good thing. Those 3 oblong black bordered things, those are mounds. They want to build that up to facilitate nesting habitat. So pretty comprehensive restoration here.
So they're gonna pump sand on the backside and the beach side?
I don't know too much about the backside, Merlin. I think it's pretty much coming from Ship Shoal. And
Yes,
that's gonna require
See that? It's
some
not shaded,
booster
but that's
pumps
it
to
right
do
there.
that.
Yeah,
That's
they're
that old-
showing a
That's what I
temporary
was
dress
wondering.
wall
Yeah,
placement on the
it's
backside
hard to
and
tell
then
in
It's
black
gonna
and
be,
white.
sand.
it's called, they're gonna do it at lower level, at marsh level, so it's gonna be filled in, but the black outlines are gonna build
Built
higher for the
high,
birds.
Right, okay.
And they're getting it from way offshore, probably the Ship Shoal area out there.
That's where they
Yeah,
get
that's what they're
it.
saying, approximately 8.6 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That drove the cost up because
Oh,
they thought they could get, there was enough borrow material on the far western end of that island, because it used to be out there, but after they did their geotechnical work, they determined that, no, it's not enough for them to use there. So they had no other alternative but to go to Ship Shoal.
so, and let me tell you, just knowing how they do it, they do seismic on the sand. They can't just put any sand. There's light sand, there's floating sand, and there's heavy sand. So the Ship Shoal area has that thick density sand, so that's why they go a little further to put it on there because it'll stay. If they pump the sand just off the beach, put it in there, the first,
It's gonna go
it'll
away.
blow it right out, right? So, and listen, this whole island wouldn't be here at all if we wouldn't have put them first rocks out there.
Yeah,
So
Right.
they work,
Yeah.
and you can see they work.
Yeah, somebody went out there a couple weeks ago. They told me, and I haven't been there in years,
Me
but
too.
they said those rock things were working, and that the island
So-
was building up to it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
you can see the little curve
Oh,
thing.
that's it in
See,
behind it.
that's
Yeah,
where
the little
rocks
gray
are, and
lines
that's-
in the
it's-
background
You
of
can
the,
see how much it's grown already.
yeah.
Okay.
And look, Ship Shoal was actually, that's deposits from the Mississippi River that were done.
So
long
they
time
did like
ago.
3D seismic of the whole coast of where the best sand is, and it's funny if you look at the map and you look at all the spots. That's right where the tarpon all hang out. It's almost looked like you had a tarpon map because the tarpon go where that sand is. I guess where the
Right. with
thicker sand, maybe the smaller fish
Fish,
or bait or
sure, yeah,
whatever
yeah.
stays in there. So
All right, any more discussion on that? All right, moving on. I just want to point out to you that, we got the two land bridge restoration projects, one TE 181, which is headed up by NOAA, and TE 186, which is being handled by CPRA. So I'm going to be dealing with both the CPRA project managers for those projects respectively, one being Kent Bolfrus for 181 and Robert Seaman for 186. And I want to do that because heretofore I've been kind of left out of the equation on this. I didn't know what's going on. So now I can get regular updates on these projects. On page 3, first of all, I want to thank Ernie and Jeff and Mickey for the informal meetings we've had with the QIPRA, some of the QIPRA partners, to discuss what happened PPL 36 and what we can do differently going into PPL 37, which will be in January or February. Because we had 4 good projects that made the initial cut, but none of them made the final cut for phase 0. And we were basically 1
point.
vote away on the Karen Crow Bayou diversion. 1 vote. Didn't make it. So, we've met with Jason Kroll of NOAA. That was on May 26th. We have scheduled meetings with Robert Dubois of Fish and Wildlife Service, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, on the 26th of this month, and Angela Trahan and Britt Paul of NRCS on July the 8th. I'm in discussion with the 3 major landowners, Apache, ConocoPhillips, and Continental Land and Fur, and I think we're gonna have a big meeting, all 3 of us together at Apache Minerals to talk about what we need to do, what those guys see. Because, they're big players in this.
Got to have their signature.
We do. So that's all in the works. Also, I need to meet with the Corps of Engineers because they're a player in this too. And I think we need to be on the same page with the Corps, because I think they could be beneficial to us. But I want to thank you guys for attending those luncheon meetings, and so you can put those other two coming up on your radar. The parish is in process of planning for the big 4th of July 250th anniversary celebration that's going to be in Bayou Country Sports Park on Saturday, July the 4th. I think you got this flyer in your packets. It's going to be a big deal. Parade starting at noon, and then there's fireworks at 9. There's going to be food and drink, vendors, kids activities, a car show, hot dog and pie eating contest, thanks to Vicky and Julie. Contest, a whole bunch of more. So it's going to be a family-friendly event on that day. So just want to, make sure you guys got that on your radar. Vicky and I went to a deal in Baton Rouge that the Office of Compliance and Permitting put on for the coastal zone managers. And it was actually a field exercise in the Bluebonnet Swamp. You guys been to the Bluebonnet Swamp? It's pretty amazing. Right in the middle of a major urbanized area, you got this serious swamp. And it was a good training exercise. We've got to do field sheets when we go out there, and it was an exercise on how to do that and identifying the trees and all that vegetation stuff. So it was well worthwhile. Vicky was afraid of snakes, so she didn't get it. But anyway, it was a fun deal, and that Office of Coastal Compliance and Permitting, they've been working with us to provide us with more information and do things like that from time to time. So they're very proactive, and I'm glad to see that. All right, coastal use permits for the month of May, we had 5, collected 4,000, bringing our total for the year to 32,100. The meetings attended 27th at the training session in Baton Rouge. This month on the 9th, the NIFWIF Grand Caillou Dulac Band Resilience Plan, a community regional partners meeting at the Copo in Dulac. That's from 3 to 5. I'm going to attend that. CPRA meeting in Luling on the 17th. The Louisiana Watershed Region 6 Steering Committee meeting at South Central on the 18th. And then our meeting with Robert Dubois, it's a luncheon meeting in my office with Robert Dubois, Fish and Wildlife Service on the 26th. So unless there's any questions, Mr. Chairman, that's all I got.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Blake?
I have a question. How's the hot dog and pie eating gonna go?
Ask Vicky.
I know.
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Is whoever can eat 12 hot dogs. You have 12 hot dogs have to eat in 5 minutes. So whoever finishes first wins, or whoever, when the timer stops at 5 minutes,
But
whoever has the least amount.
if you throw up, you disqualify.
And the pie eating contest is apple pie, and you can't use your hands, nothing like that. You have to eat out a pie within 5 minutes to your time.
Oh, Lord.
I will
What
be.
is- I mean, you have a teenager, we have a
5 minutes is a
adult
long
group,
time.
and
I know it is.
Okay.
so it's 20
Especially when
people-
you eat them out of your
20
hand
people
and
for
shit.
hot dogs and 20 people for pie, first come, first serve.
Gotcha.
Oh
That's
yeah,
cool.
want to join it?
No, I'll come watch. That's it.
And there will be beer.
Okay.
Thank you. Public comment, any public comment? Committee member comments, Jeff? Marilyn, Mickey? Jan? All right. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, July 7th. The meeting is at 5 p.m. right here in the meeting room. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Marilyn, second by Jan. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.